Hello everybody, welcome to the studio. Hopefully you're all having an amazing creative day. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 reasons to buy the EOS R5 in 2025, and this camera, spoiler alert, is absolutely amazing. I pre-ordered this back in 2020 when it was first announced. Have been shooting with it ever since and absolutely love the image quality, love using this camera. And up until last year, or I guess summer of last year, I used to tout this as the best camera Canon has ever made. Obviously now we have the R1 and the R5 Mark II, which came out. So this one's kind of a little dethroned, but as a result of those new cameras, the price of this camera has come down a lot. So the value for money here, like what you get bang for the buck, is absolutely insane. Like flagship quality specs in a camera without a flagship price. But anyway, let's talk about the 5 things. Let's get into it. All right, so now we're filming with the R5, and this brings me to the first point, video quality. The video quality on the R5, absolutely amazing. I know most of the people watching my channel are photographers, and maybe you want to shoot video one day, maybe you're not interested in video, but just for the record, the R5 shoots absolutely fantastic video. So right now we're filming in 4K fine, which is 8K downsampled to 4K with the all intra codec, the all I codec, and the image quality is absolutely amazing. I have no filters on the front of the lens either, so you're gonna see all the details, and it's absolutely nuts. So the one benefit with the R5 is that you get the all-I codec. I think the R6 has it, the R6 Mark III, and then below that, nothing else has all-I. It's just IPB, except for the EOS R, which also has all-I. But the all-I codec is a bigger, beefier codec. You're gonna need a computer with a lot of horsepower to process it, but the benefit is you get a lot of detail and a lot of bit depth. So if you want to color grade and manipulate the footage in post, you can do that, which is awesome. Also with the R5, you get C-Log 1 and C-Log 3, no C-Log 2, and you get RAW, 10-bit 422 RAW, and that is absolutely awesome. So if you're a photographer looking to get into video, R5 is a fantastic choice. If you're a hybrid shooter like I am and you shoot photo and video, R5 is a fantastic choice. Autofocus, obviously, very reliable in video mode. So yeah, number 1, awesome video with the R5. All right, number 2 is a high resolution sensor. And I'm putting the Tiffin Pro Mist 1/8 filter on the front of the lens right now because this sensor is just really high resolution. It picks up all the details and everything. Absolutely amazing. So if you're a photographer and you're looking for some high resolution shots, you know, whether you're shooting products, landscapes, portraits, product, food, that kind of thing, the R5 is absolutely fantastic. The only place it's not the best at is fast action sports. So if you're shooting, let's say, baseball, golf, football, basketball, that kind of thing, or if you're shooting wildlife that moves really fast, the R5, I don't fully recommend it. I think you'll get better results with the R5 Mark II, but for everything else, if you're shooting, like I said, portraits of people, weddings, events, food, products, that kind of thing, the 45 megapixel sensor in the R5 is absolutely amazing. I mean, you have the 5DSR, which is the old school tech. You can get that in the DSLR format. You have the R5 Mark II and you have the R5C, and that's it for 45 megapixel sensors or 45 and 50 megapixel sensors in the Canon lineup. So if you think about the price of the R5 versus the 45 megapixel sensor, I mean, that's amazing value for money. You're getting a camera that's capable of shooting high resolution photos, and especially if you pair it up with, let's say, the 85 1.2, the 28 to 70, the 50 1.2, 100 mil macro, those lenses are capable of resolving a lot of detail, and you get these ultra clean, sharp images, and you look at them and you're just like, what? That's crazy. So if you're shooting products, or let's say fashion, for example, where you want to see the textiles in the shirt and all that kind of stuff, R5 is absolutely fantastic for that kind of thing. So yeah, high resolution sensor is a win. All right, so if you're considering the R5 as a camera for your photography needs, you're probably also considering the R6 Mark III, which is also a very capable camera. The one big difference between the R5 and the R6 Mark III, and why I recommend the R5, is that the shutter count for the R5 is rated for 500,000 shots, where the shutter on the R6 Mark III is rated for 300,000 shots. Maybe that's a big deal for you, maybe it's a deal breaker, maybe it's not, but it's just something to think about. If you're the type of person who wants to buy one camera and just hold on to it for 7-8 years and just keep using it, if you're like a hobbyist, for example, and you just want one good camera for all your needs every time you go out and shoot and that kind of thing, the R5 will have a longer shelf life than the R6 Mark III, just because of that more robust shutter. Just something to consider. It's not a huge thing, but like I said, if you're the type of person who wants to buy a camera and hold on to it for a long time, 500,000 shots is awesome. All right, I kind of like this sun reflecting through the mirror, so I'm just going to stay here for the rest of the video. So the next thing I want to talk about is build quality. The R5 is built like a tank. I mean, you have the R1 and R3, which are Canon's pro-level cameras with like the super strong, sturdy build, and one rung below that, also in the professional arena, is the R5. So it's got a really good body, magnesium alloy, nice and thick. It can withstand the rigors of professional use. So that's like throwing it in the backseat of your car, throwing it in a camera bag, on your desk, on the floor, on, you know, different shoots, hanging around your neck, bopping around all the time. So the R5 is built robustly. And if it's a camera, like I said earlier, that you want to invest in for the long term to have with you as you develop your photography career, or as a hobbyist who just wants to hold on to a camera for a long time, the R5 should last you a long time. And the other thing to consider too is like, camera technology hasn't really evolved that much over the last, what, 8-9 years. 45 megapixel, you have your autofocus, you have your shutter speed, your aperture, your ISO. You don't really need much more than that as a photographer. And I can't really see these camera companies developing the technology in their cameras so much more that the R5 would become obsolete. Even by 2030, I think the R5 will still be a fantastic camera. And I guess that's bad for the photography industry because people aren't going to be buying new cameras, but at the same time, it's good for us as consumers because we can buy a piece of gear and just hold on to it for a long time. I think the big advancements with photography are going to start happening on the backside, on the firmware side of things. I think that's where like computational photography and things like that are going to pop into cameras in the future. But I don't know, is that really photography at that point if the camera is making all the analysis for you and editing your photos in camera? I don't know. But that's a topic for another video. Let's move on to the fifth reason why the R5 is awesome in 2025. All right, and the last reason, and we kind of touched on this at the beginning of the video, is value for money. Like, you're not paying a lot of do-re-mi for a camera with flagship specs. I mean, you can shoot 8K RAW, 10-bit 422, you have a 45 megapixel high resolution sensor, you have great autofocus, eye tracking, like you have all the features you want, fast card, you know, not only for shooting, but offloading onto your computer. You have a fast card so you can get that data off your card and onto your computer quickly as well. So it's just a really good camera. So value for money, absolutely amazing. There's only one camera that in my opinion has better value for money in the Canon lineup than the R5 right now, and that's the original EOS R. Like, if all you do is shoot portraits of people and like still life type stuff, landscapes, food, products, that kind of thing, the EOS R's 30 megapixel sensor is absolutely amazing. And you know, you get shutter speed, aperture, ISO, and as a photographer who's a pro, that's all I need. I don't need all the other fancy stuff. And you get highlight tone priority and all that stuff in the R. So, I mean, if you're new to photography and you're trying to build your career and you want an inexpensive camera that can shoot really good quality photos, I would recommend starting with the EOS R. Like, use that camera, run it into the ground, build up your clientele, make your money, make your profit, and then invest in the R5 or whatever's new at the time that you can afford. So the R is like a good starter camera if you want to get into professional photography. The R5 as well. I mean, if it's in your budget right now, I mean, you're not paying full price for it and you're getting flagship specs. So the R5 and the R both represent cameras that have excellent image quality, great video quality. Like, you can get 10-bit 422 out of the EOS R as well with a Ninja, an Adamus recorder on the top. So yeah, anyway, I'm promoting another camera here. But the R and the R5, both awesome cameras. But yeah, value for money, absolutely amazing. You're getting value up here and you're paying here. With the R, you're paying here, right? But the R5 value is just going to keep dropping. So if you wait another 6 months or so, like by the end of 2025, the R5 will probably drop a little bit. I don't think it's going to lose too much of its value, but anyway, the point of this segment is the value for money on the R5 right now. Absolutely amazing considering what it cost when it first came out and what it costs now and what you get out of the camera. It's a no-brainer. So if you're looking for a good deal, find an R5 with a good shutter count. If you can find an R5 used online with a shutter count around 80,000 clicks, you're laughing. That's amazing. All right, value for money, awesome. Okay, check out this crazy lighting. Oh yeah, I love this kind of lighting. For me as a photographer, this is what I dream of. When the sun's coming in at a low angle and you get this nice haze and glow, like that is just, that's so cool. Anyway, this video is over. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. If you have any questions about the R5, definitely leave them in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I also have a ton of R5 content on the YouTube channel and on my blog. I'll link them both. Sorry, I'm playing here. I'll link them both down below. And yeah, definitely. R5, awesome camera. You won't regret picking one up. And yeah, this video is over. Peace out. Thanks for watching and I will see you guys in the next video.